monster, man. I mean, just the style
I was
is
just thinking that.
That's why, you know, 100%, man. Every time I see him, I'm like, dude's a rock star. But, you know, he's a Gears of War pro. He's a little bit of both, right? Let's see if we'll see more of Dragons in the future. It starts here on Asylum. Track's already being contested. Elevate pushes forward, and they're able to secure it. Majesty, they're backtracking, looking to apply pressure on Streets onto 3 and 4. That's Gary and exclusive. See if they can hold their own.
Doing a home hill push. I want to say at first it looked a little slow, but it's working out for them. They get the decap coming through. They need to be careful. They need to get these eliminations. Exclusives is putting a ton of fire down. There goes Gary cleaning up the down finally. Krabby's going to get taken now. Arthur is doing what he can. That's going to be the first elimination. Dragons goes down next. And this is going to be an open hand for Majesty. But unfortunately, they get open hand by Gary's right back. That's going to be a trade. And that's going to be good for Elevate, though. Those trades are very, very important on your home hill. You're going to be spawning up. You're going to be there much quicker than the enemy team. But that just bought so much time for Majesty to go and overextend towards that neutral, knowing Elevate's going to spawn up and go for their home hill.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even though Elevate striked first, they were able to get the neutral plus their home hill. Majesty still has that point lead. So that's speaking volumes of what they could do. Nero, though, trying to go big. He gets one, can't get that second. Arthur shuts him down. Meanwhile, player 3 is still going to challenge player 8, but the storyline is taking place on the home hill of Majesty. Exclusive is going to be battling for his life. Up close, he gets chunked. Chippy takes him down, and that leaves one more player. That's going to be Krabby's in the back line. A dominant Slayer, a dominant player, but in this case, not enough. Chippy will silence him.
Scratch my head a little bit why Krabby's is overstaying his welcome on that side of the map instead of rotating, but you know the damage has been done. They're playing I'm Not. One player down for Majesty towards the middle. Elevate's looking to clean this one up, but a nice backfire from Chippy. Archer's going to go down, but there they go, trying to get that break. They're not getting any points just yet, but they do maintain the lead for now. 3 players of Majesty looking like they're trying to overhaul this hill and make it their own. That capture is going to come through, so they're going to maintain the lead, but they need to be careful. Just trying to be sneaky, trying to get some cheeky shots, but unable to net himself a kill just yet. And that's where he's going to be like a Hot Wheel. He's not slowing down just yet. He's trying to get the elimination behind him. He gets one. That player is still weak. Exclusive rolls back. He gets taken out. I almost think if he doesn't roll back and takes the cover, he gets the 2-piece.
My boy Exclusive going off, making it look good. Even though he does get silenced, he showed what he can do. All this effort, though, and I still look at the points, they favor Majesty. The objective favors Majesty. They have done such a great job maintaining composure and maintaining control. And Gary and Nero really have to think hard. Do we want to respawn back in? But it looks like they're not even going to have that option. Dragons is having all the chance in the world to take out Verts there. It doesn't happen, and actually Verts will go ahead and emote for good measure, showing them, hey, check it out, man. You have plenty of shots. What? Instants are going to be a lot of fun. Man, Instants and Shock's last round, last series, I should say, between the People's Champs and Apricity was really great to watch, especially when that drop shot was put in the cut on Streets. Oh, those Shocks and Instants were deadly. Nero up close. Let's see. Yes, he can. That's going to be 3 members he's able to pick up. Gary picks up one of his own on Archer on Streets, and that'll secure that position on to Alpha. Player 0 gets dropped. Now it's up to player 7 and 6 to get a touch here. Player 5 is going to be there to cut him off, and a touch will happen. If Gary can get these 2 chunks, that's going to be for sure around, and he gets it, and that should be GG.
Second chance at life here. Never mind, I didn't say that. Should be GG, like Taylor said the first time. Elevate now ties it up 1 round apiece, and this is where it's going to get interesting. Like I said, once these weapons really start to, they're kind of evenly matched. They're going against each other head to on. They're going rotating around the map. One team going low, one team going high. So right now we haven't really seen that headbutt war, that all-out shotgun action that we're used to seeing from some of these challenger teams trying to get that pro league spot.
We really haven't. I will say, it's really just been about overpowering the enemy team, you know, at most points, whether it be Majesty in that first round or Elevate in the second round. It's just about getting that 3 or 4 down and then just pushing forward for that home hill. And, you know, we are seeing some good objective work, but I think at its core, that's really unfortunate for Nero. He just tries to get out, but just couldn't do so. He gets burnt to a crisp. But we've seen more strategy on just overpowering the opponent as opposed to playing strictly objective. But hey, these are 2 teams that, you know, do prioritize slaying overall. Overextension from Majesty. They push up. Player 3 gets dropped. 4 is going to get that pickup. 1, though, had an opportunity. That was Krabby's. That would have been a huge kill onto Beast, but he's not able to get it. And because of that, not only is Krabby's fault, but so does Gary. And now Majesty off to the races on Streets.
Wow, Nero. I would love to see him back roll, but he probably felt like he had no choices there. Dragons goes in, fights off more than he could chew. Krabby's is going to be the next target. But that's where Majesty needs to be careful here. Go for some eliminations instead of the hill, and that's going to be 2. That's going to be 3. And they're having a house party, if you're calling. He invited them over. All of Majesty taking some chips and dip there in a second round on the board. And that's going to be really interesting because, like I talked about, not very much head, but battle going on. Not a lot of shock and play, but that one, that was just quick. That was Majesty not only winning that initial, they quickly rotated over, even though there was a quick kill coming through from Krabby's. That missed shot towards the end really costed his team that round. Even though they were kind of at an uphill battle at that point, that would have been a huge save. The round would have kept going, and it would have still been 1-1.
Yeah, 100%. If Krabby's picks up that kill, you know, who knows what he could have done from that point forward, because he's on the flank. We would have seen Majesty probably scramble, knowing that someone's on the flank that they were not predicting. So Krabby's really could have opened up the door there to keep them alive, but because he fell, Majesty had that manpower to just continue to push forward onto streets to get that domination. Very well played overall. I think all 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken, have went to the way of the domination. So either way, both teams are high-flying. It's great to watch this action, and I'm loving the Slain power in general. It has slowed down a little bit. Elevate, though, will be the first ones to strike. A Hail Mary from Krabby's on the Archer. We'll take him down.
I like the way he wastes no time going for any positioning, trying to push in, trying to put the pressure on. And even though, he like I said, he's taking his time just a little bit, he's just completely knowing exactly what the enemy team is going to do. He knows they need to push over. They need to get something, because going down these 2 hills early is going to put yourself in a hole. And right now, Majesty taking out 3 members of Elevate, trying to overextend. Nero's going to be the 4th, but Nero gets a double kill, saying, hey, you might have stopped a couple of my teammates, but you're not going to stop me. That's Soulfist. He has to push back. He has to maneuver, because he can't let Nero go free while the rest of his teammates spawning up. And that's going to be Gary. Gary's overextending, not even capping his home hill. Might have been a little bit of a mistake. This is where he's going to try and be sneaky.
I was laughing because, I mean, if you blink, you'll miss it. I mean, there's just so many chances, you know, for a team to just take that extra leg up, and then all of a sudden you have that one player that pulls off a 2 or 3K. I've seen more 2 or 3Ks, maybe even 4Ks in this map alone than I think in my entire casting career on Gears of War. This map has been crazy between these 2 teams. When you think one team has the advantage, you have players like Nero who pulls off a huge 2-piece and keeps his team right back in it. It's just wild. Majesty now already pushing forward. Make that elevate, excuse me. They're going to be applying that pressure onto Majesty's home hill. Sulfus backs up for good measure. Utility's going to be a throw. Meanwhile, you have a 2v1, a mismatch taking place onto B. So a very good opportunity for Elevate to take this domination, and they look like they might be able to do so. Majesty needs a touch.
And Gary is just too good right now on that fight to capture that home hill. He was kind of on the side. He started wall bouncing around, able to get the down and the kill on 1. Immediately turns around to help his teammate, and then once again immediately turns right back around. Gary, knowing the win condition, knowing exactly how many players are coming off spawn, and knowing which route they're going to take. And that's just true experience. Gary probably being a big slayer on the side of Majesty, so he probably takes very similar routes and knows the strategy, and that's where I talk about these utility is going to be very prominent early on. But once the shock grenade makes its place for both of these teams, if they choose not to have it, that's where we're going to start to see hopefully that middle weapon go down, unless they just want to continue to play the defensive game with more utility right in their pockets.
All right, going into the second half. I love this. Shock's Sin Streets fight's going to be a lot of fun. 3 players go down low to get that first early point count for Majesty. So they'll be leading very slightly, which means Elevate theoretically should take or be the first ones to attempt onto the neutral, which they waste no time. And with Nero throwing utility out, thought he was going to maybe make that push. We see that, you know, a couple times where one team gets not only the neutral but pushes through and just applies that pressure, but not this time. Shock is out, and another shock gets thrown. That puts Veets on the ground. He should still get the decap. The instant connects, and no, Elevate maintains it.
So Nero's, he's watching both sides, realizing the player might go for the cap towards the backside, but he's also getting flanked. A couple melees. Nero's finally going to get taken out. And hopefully his teammates was able to get something around the map. But there's actually 2 players. One of them defending the home, while the other one is trying to be sneaky. And Gary, we've seen him make some big plays from a flank before, but he has to make an even bigger one on E, but he gets taken out. Now it's Krabby's turn. He gets the neutralization. That's going to be a decap. Prolonged round for Elevate, and now it's their opportunity to fight back. And this is one of the best timing, too, because those utility grenades should be coming up in about like 40 seconds-ish. So now they just make their way towards the top side, try to threaten it, and then await for someone from Majesty to get caught off guard. guard, especially since you have that flashbang. Now you have a 2v1 situation opportunity, make that 3v1 as one player does go down. Archer's trying to do what he can to save the round for his team, but the downs are coming through for Elevate. Multiple players getting eliminated. Dragon's almost by top board that he could true, but the backup from Elevate is there. They're not only going to get that neutral in E, but if they get this kill on Archer, they can easily push home for F.
And Veets also is going to win his fight against Krabby's, but not going to win his fight against one of the other members from Majesty. So either way, that gives Majesty the ability to go ahead and push in. That's a good chunk on the Gary. Dragons will also fall. Exclusive, does he fall too? Yes, he has to, you would think. And yeah, he finally goes down. And Majesty right back in the driver's seat. Elevate, very aggressive. But Jake, you think that aggression was warranted?
I mean, in some aspects, you need to be aggressive. You need to do it together as a team. But you need to remember those objectives matter. They never captured the home hill. They had the capture on E, so they had all the potential in the world to come back. But as I said earlier on, what I think really ails Elevate as a full unit, as a team, is not having that #1 experienced IGL player that can really rein in those players, pull them back when needed, or heck, push them forward when needed. But this is a team that always goes forward, so they just need that guy to kind of calm them down a little bit. Like I said, 2 hills, much better than what just happened.
I agree. I think the 2 hills would have been the much better play. You know, obviously the new utility is going to be coming through. Use your shock, use your instant, stop those pushes. But either way, make, you know, Majesty make those mistakes. Elevate got a little bit too aggressive. It almost worked out. Let's not kid ourselves. You know, if Krabby's would have picked up that kill on the neutral, or excuse me, on Majesty's home hill, Elevate would have been able to lock that in. But either way, though, they do throw that round away. Majesty now leads 3-2. A big opportunity for them. Nero spots the shot, gets out with his life. He'll get picked up by Exclusive, but either way, that battle for E will continue. And Majesty looks to be the ones to go ahead and push up and take that advanced position.
They did get the advanced position, but Krabby's got first blood, return shock, so they're not going to get the points off of it. And this is where the bottom half of the map is being dominated by Krabby's and Geary. There goes the instant, unable to connect, but it gets him out of position. Krabby's gets flanked, though, by Archer. Nice stop to the offensive push coming through from Elevate. Now the rest of the members are going to have to rethink and reposition themselves, make sure they're not caught out of guard. You see, both players are still pushed up at E. This is looking like death coming through if Majesty can play this right.
Majesty, big opportunity here. Like you said, if they play this right, they can take a nice, sizable lead. Exclusive, though, pressing that issue. He's swarmed on Majesty, takes him down, actually all together in one. Scary from the corner. He's being peppered, trying to clutch up. Unfortunately, he cannot. And then Majesty, a good opportunity. Krabby's now the last one to try and stop this push. He's all the way pushed back. His team now respawning back in, but the pressure is so real. And he's probably going to have to sacrifice his life here, and actually nobody gets a touch. They waste too much time.
See, I want to put this nicely, Taylor. I want to put this nicely. I know crabs aren't the fastest thing in the book, but this is Crab. He's probably one of the best players in Latin America. There is no reason he doesn't get that touch. I feel like he's just more scared to die there than he is to prolong the round for his team. I don't know if that's maybe I don't trust my teammates to go as big. Maybe I didn't realize the timing, or maybe there was some communication breakdown that we just did not hear. But nonetheless, that was more than enough opportunity for Krabbies to try and get that touch, try to get the reset and prolong the round.
They're able to come through and go big. Krabby's a miss instant. Archer is going to be okay, but that pressure is pretty great. I mean, Elevate still has that advanced position, and Jacob, Majesty might be in trouble here.
Exclusive getting that down. He's going to be able to clean that one up. F is being decapped. Triple cap domination. This is where Elevate knows you did what you needed to do. You got the points. You have the pressure set up as well. You don't need to continue going for the triple cap. You can try to get these eliminations, but that's going to be a player, Chippy, sneaking past for Majesty, catching Exclusive off guard, and that's almost exactly what you need to do. You need to make a player make a big decision, and if they take too much time, you make them pay, and that's already what Majesty's doing. Pushing up, they get the decap on the hill. Quick revives coming through. They're hopefully going to get this capture and be in a position to gain the lead, but Krabbies is going to get one. Dragon shuts down another, and that's going to be Toy Dez, former member of F&I, but he's going to be a former nobody as he gets taken out again. Geary's just once again, that's going to be a triple kill and the round for Elevate. But I will say Majesty's still on match point, so all that work for Elevate, it's just not enough just yet. I need to see more. I need to see 2 more convincing rounds.
Ensigns, building up those shocks, and maybe a disable. There's a disable. So right now, off the rip, the boys in Elevate, they're not going to have that instant anymore. Jacob, how much of an impact is that going to have?
That's going to be a huge impact. And if you're Majesty, you're looking to close out the game in this round right here. Because if Elevate wins it, they have the lock potential back, then the ball is in their court. So it's all going to come down to what moves you make. I want to see them make smart strategic moves. And if they're going to play aggressive, they need to do it as a wolf pack. They're not going to have the scare of that instant kill if it lands. So they have all the time in the world to maneuver around as a team. They just need to play it perfect, especially since they have 2 hills and that extra instant. There's no way Elevate retakes this clean.
Who knows? We'll definitely see if Majesty makes a mistake. Easy kill for Toyd as Nero gets burnt to a crisp in the pocket. Call him a hot pocket. Exclusive now will push up. And that's going to be the shock out, forcing Veets back. But can Exclusive move in? Okay, he's just waiting for the flames to kind of dissipate. He's going to go ahead and get that decap. Can't get the full cap yet. He knows that. The rest of his teammates, though, are going to join in. Majesty knows there's no manpower for Elevate at that point in time. The only one there was Exclusive, so they're going to go ahead and push the issue. But now they open themselves up to a counter one.
Oh! Taylor! Why didn't...
I called it.
See, I don't even know who that was that died first on the side of Elevate. He did such a... on the side of Majesty. Yeah, he did such a good job. He broke the hill by himself. The rest of the members of Majesty, they push forward trying to kill them, and then they just get wiped off the map. First of all, I don't even know how he broke the hill by himself, but how do you get wiped right after? Majesty, you're on match point. There's no reason to start choking now.
100%, man. I mean, this is the opportunity for Majesty and Elevate. This is where that experience comes into play, right? I mean, I think Elevate now at this point in time back against the wall, it makes them stronger because they understand they have to play flawlessly. They don't have those additional rounds that they can give up. They know that if they do not play perfectly, they are going to lose. Majesty, though, they were on the cusp of winning. They were up 4-2, and sometimes you can get lackadaisical. But Majesty does take over the neutral. And hey, they're right back in control. They still have the point lead. So the opportunity for them to win this 5-3 is still there.
And remember that instant, that's going to be a huge, huge boost. And Toydez has it in his hands. So even though the flash, you trade the flashes, you trade the shocks, then you have that instant to go ahead and retake. And I like what they're doing now. They're not using it right away. They're waiting for the perfect moment. A player goes down. They're going to use that instant to take Krabby's out. But unfortunately, that's going to be a miss. He's going to escape. So if Majesty somehow loses his positioning, loses this round, that's great play by Elevate because they're doing it all without an instant grenade. And there goes the first down. Instants are also coming back up, but Elevate is not wasting any time. A couple players being traded off back and forth, and Geary and Dragons are trying to put it on for their team. It ends up in a 1v1 meat shield, but there comes the help, the reinforcements for both of these squads. This is going to be like a double initial.
Appears to be the case, man. This is some big kills. Archer, can he go massive here? Nero fighting for his life. 1v2. Krabby's comes up to assist, and Archer will fall. Fresh shot comes in. Krabby's now goes down. The scoreline so close. Elevate still with the win condition. Majesty chomping at the bit to push an E, but the secondary shot gets placed. Did Majesty just lose this round? Was Elevate able to send it to a round 9? They only have a couple of seconds to get this break.
They just need the break. They just need the break. Even if they die, I'm not sure if there's enough time. That middle fight going down right now, that is going to be Archer. He's trying to hold on to the team. That could be a huge break coming through for Elevate, but it's going to be too late. Great attempt, but not enough as Majesty close it out 5-3.
Wow, huge place from Majesty. I can't wait to see the box score. I really can't, because I think it was all dominations or enemy team eliminations. I don't know if any round went to 250 minus that last one, round number 8. Exciting stuff. We do put a lot of attention on Krabby's and Gary's for good reason, especially on that second half. But unless a power weapon is placed up there, or unless we transfer into the second half, which will inevitably happen, Krabby's and Gary's, yeah, they're going to dominate that top fight. But how impactful is it going to be? Will Majesty be able to rework their strategy around that? Well, we'll find out. The battle is now here. We've got 2 up top, 2 in the middle, and then, of course, 1 capturing those home hills. It looks like Majesty was able to get the cap just a little bit earlier, but nobody's being shy about those fights. They're all going for it.
Yeah, I talked about that trick shot coming through, and Majesty's already being the first players to go ahead and pull it out. That Chippy, faking like he's going up top, go down low, but it just did not work out for them. And the longest respawn timers of the half, Elevate strikes fast, strikes hot, 32 seconds come out with a round 1 victory. That's
huge too. You know, trick strat, hey, good. I liked it. but it wasn't enough. Chippy missed a lot of shots there, but either way, would it have even have mattered? Now back to the drawing board. Is it worth it to, you know, just leave that top fight now to Krabby's and Gary's and just kind of, you know, concede it and give it up? Or is it worth it to go ahead and, you know, fight that fight? Let's see what they do, because now going into the second round, after that quick round, I mean, do you really even have time to rethink a strategy here? I mean, nobody was able to get a kill.
I almost think up top, no matter if your strategy is to play down low on this map, you almost got to go up top and match it first round. You can't let them think all game long that you might have some tricks up your sleeve. So I think Elevate's going to be ready from this point forward. But I talked about throwing that flashbang halfway. Gary's going to get that first done, gets the first shot, but he takes a bomb, but fires one back. Chippy's going to be the first one out of the game. Elevate have the two-man advantage and quickly putting it to use. Wow. That's going to be 3 players from Majesty dead. Make that 4 before I can finish my sentence. 1 player left. Make that 0. Can we go to the next round, please?
Chippy's back in it, but I mean, Elevate, they're already going to be all over this hill. Chippy now going straight into Nero. Luckily, he's got some teammates there, but that Lancer fire is unrelenting. Chippy will fall. Archer will get a touch. Chippy crawls in, and Toydis throws his life away. What else is he going to do? And that's going to be another quick round for Elevate. Jeez, man, what is that? Less than, that's 50 seconds. First one was, what, 30 seconds? Less than 2 minutes in the last 2 rounds.
Minute 22 of gameplay. We were talking more between the map so far than we've seen in game number 2 coming through. But I want to go ahead and use this as an opportunity. If you guys saw it, I think it was Toydez or Nero there towards the end where they were getting that Lancer fight. It was Nero because I remember the character. That power position down low towards those pillars in the spawn, whether you're on first half or second half, you're going to see it throughout the course of the game. That is a huge power position, whether you're offense or defending. You need to make sure you have that secured, because you're going to be able to put some Lancer fire down, shock and fire down, and then the other team, whether they're closing in for a triple cap or defending, they're going to have to get you out first. Otherwise, you're just going to be a thorn in their side the entire time.
All right, Majesty, what are you made of? What can you do? This is your chance to show it. We witnessed a ton of slaying power and a lot of potential on that first map of Asylum. Now you need to transfer that over towards Forge. I know Elevate is strong, but we absolutely know you can go toe-to-toe with him in that slaying power. That Talon, by the way, deadly. I mean, I even get scared, and I'm not even the one with the controller in my hands, but I heard it ringing out up top. Drop shot already in the hands of Krabby's. Elevate already off to a phenomenal start. Dragons with that Talon now. He's going to be pressuring onto Chippy. He's got 2 players. Toydez and Chippy in front. Can't get away. He drops. Either way, though, Majesty put up a much better fight off the initial, but the fact that they lose that drop shot hurts.
It hurts indeed, because now with Krabby's having that drop shot, you see them already pressing forward. That's Sophus. He's doing a good job right now. He's just trying to buy some time. He's not expected to do anything big right here, barring any miracles, but he did force a couple of enemies back. That gives Elevate a little bit of chance on the map. And this is where number 1, Archer's fighting that fight. He's trying to keep possession of the pillars. He gets taken out. Triple cap domination, sounding off for a moment. Drop shot from Krabby's. He should be able to get Chippy out, so there's going to be no hope on the B hill. It's all on the home hill, and no chance is what you got. Is 3-0. Elevate. No, you guys are scared to fight us, and we'll show you why.
All right. Last round of the half. You blinked, you missed it. Potential 4-0 coming into the side of Elevate. Actually, look at this. Archer and Toydez take down Krabby's and Gary's. That's a duo, right? So you can only assume that that top fight was won. Meanwhile, drop shot still on the ground. 3 down for Majesty now. And it looks like Elevate is starting to shift the odds back in their favor. Archer trying to win a big fight. Sophus falls. And I thought Sophus had the chance there. No, and another one falls right after that. And the drop shot back into the hands of Elevate. This time, instead of Krabby's, it's exclusive. But Majesty, they had the man advantage for such a large portion, and it just slipped away.
There it goes, another triple cap sounding off for a moment. Krabby's, he's trying to put that power back. Like I said, take note of that power position in the pillars. Even though they kill Archer, Elevate still has to back up because they have that player Sophus and pillars to worry about. But the rotations coming through, they're not even doing any safe rotations. They're immediately just pushing through the center of the map.
They're just going.
They get the trade, but they get taken down for it. These players are just trying to go for desperation breaks. Right now, Majesty is just looking desperate for anything.
Yeah, Majesty at this point, I mean, they're just throwing everything in the kitchen sink. They're throwing Hail Marys. They're just trying to gain any control that they can. But you know what? That's not the right play. I don't care how much you're down. You need to work together as a team and really push these fights together. It's tough to do, though, against that Talon. And Dragons is going to single-handedly hold Arthur as well as a couple or another person back. I think that's Sophus with them. Arthur now pushing up aggressively. If Dragons picks up this kill, that's going to be pretty devastating.
Oh.
And he will. I mean, that hurts, Jacob. That hurts a lot because Arthur committed so much there. Where was Soltis?
Let's say who even got that kill. Nero got that kill so fast and bounced out. The camera didn't even know who to go for. Now Toy Dez, he's trying to make it happen. Exclusive, he knows he's out of position here. He knows. Look, the way he's moving right now, he knew he needed some sort of desperate kill, some sort of a miracle, a trade to make it worth it, but he does get caught off guard. But the rest of Elevate in the right place at the right time. Gary wins a top fight. He immediately turns down low, knowing players could be rotating to try to break this neutral hill, but he's keeping a swivel on his back as well. There goes Toy Dez. Not even a chance. 3 more members of Majesty trying to break this hill, but they're not going to have any time to cap it. They need to press forward. They need a triple neutralization, but every single member is just having trouble getting past their own side.
I mean, this is just devastating. Elevate is, at this point, I mean, they are just playing a rank game. I mean, Jacob, they're just pushing in, and they're not giving any... I don't even know if Elevate now is implementing strategies. I think they're just pushing up and just trying to slay as much as they possibly can. I mean, I think that's literally the play that they're making. Elevate 4-0. My goodness.
I gotta ask you a question. Because I know you've been picking my brain about strategy.
That's the play. You push in through E, you lock that in, and you just give up that entire fight because this fight just hasn't been won a single time. I mean, seriously, maybe you just give it up altogether because it's just not working.
I would like to see them maybe place more talons in their hand, use those pistols, be aggressive, or put something on the side that isn't necessarily going to get upgraded to a ensign, maybe a claw, something that you can use throughout the course of the round, not just once, as multiple
There's not enough
members
rounds, Jacob.
are getting. I mean, not anymore. They had multiple chances to do it early on. Now they just need a miracle. They needed some holy water. They need, what else they need? They need UIU. They need Jesus.
Look, I'm a caster where I feel bad.
They need Fatal Strike. They need anything at this point.
Stop. I'm a caster where I feel bad saying stuff like, but it's true. I mean, at this point, chalk it up. Let's go to game 3. Look at Gary. I haven't seen Gary play like this, right? I mean, he's just playing sneaky. Goes in. That's 1. Sulfus and Beats now fighting for their life. He might be able to do this. No. Beats. Hello? He's going to go ahead and back up. Yeah, they got to give that up. See, it's you asked me what can you do, it just comes down to simply winning your gunfights, bottom line, period. Because it's like Majesty is trying a bunch of things, right? At the beginning, they try to throw a trick strat, they tried to just go through mid, they got outslayed. 5-man wipe. They tried to, or it was a 4-man wipe, and then eventually a domination. They tried to, challenge that fight up top for the button. They have, for all intents and purposes, have an opportunity to do it. They get outslayed, they just lose their fights. That's what it boils down to. Well, if you are a Majesty fan, I am very sorry for what just took place. If you're an Elevate fan, you're happy, though, because you tie up the series, and there's no suspense with that. It's a quick 5-0. We're going into Game 3 on District. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Wins this, awesome. They are the better team, and we've seen what they can do on Asylum. They've already won 1 map, and they absolutely have within them to win on District. But if Elevate loses, it's going to be a heartbreaking defeat.
I already see the strategy coming out from both of these teams. Elevate going for positioning. They're trying to get their members on the map. They're trying to take over everything at once while capturing their own home hill. On the other side, I think Majesty went for a triple cap on their home hill, get the point lead, and force Elevate to make these rotations, force them to make the play, and hopefully they can take over. But Elevate wasting no time, going straight down low, home hill to home hill. So they got a distraction on one end, but look at the players. They're trying to cap the neutral hill as well. They attack both hills at once, and so far it's working out.
They got the momentum. That 5-0 victory was huge. And now it's up to Majesty to let that one go. Hey, it was a tough loss. Now it's a different map and a different, set of circumstances. So let that one go. It is what it is. Majesty, though, they will continue to fight. He is going to see a lot of attention. And as player 2 falls, that's Dragons. He goes down. That's actually 3 down for Elevate. Majesty will regain control and start closing out at that deficit that was accumulated off the beginning. Player 1, though, stuck in between Alpha and Charlie, kind of being that scout man. He can push over if he wants, if he gets some help. He can maybe, pressure onto mid. Either way, though, he's going to be able to call out those rotations. He does not want Majesty pushing their own home hill.
Normally, I'm like calling people out for standing still, not doing anything much. Right now, Gary just needs to not be seen right now. He has a great opportunity. Veets might have seen him, right there towards that quick rotation. I don't know where his camera angle was actually looking at, but he needs to be careful because he has an opportunity here to overextend towards the low side, and anything that's going on right now, if Majesty pushes and causes some sort of a ruckus, he can easily keep this round going towards the low side, but that's going to be a capture coming through from Elevate. So in just a few seconds, they're going to regain the lead. So Majesty, they have to make some plays, and it's already looking like they're rotating low. Gary has a chance. He has a chance, but he's, no, okay, never mind. I spoke too soon. He's back. He's making the safe play. I can't even say anything. He's playing textbook games right now.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a safe play when you see 4 members of Majesty pushing you. I mean, hey, I don't care how good you think you are. It's going to be a tough win. But, hey, that's an audible thrown for Majesty. They actually go through mid and look like they want to pressure onto B. Elevate has the lead. Majesty needs to get the work here. It's getting close, and Gary will pick up 2. That's Chippy and Toides who falls. Krabby's also going to pick up Arthur, and all of a sudden now, Sulfus and Veets last up. Sulfus on all 4s. He's finished off. The triple cap's coming through. Veets not even a leg to stand on, and he can't even get that touch in the end. Elevate turned it up a notch, and they secure the first round.
Minutes and 26 seconds. So already Majesty's putting up a little bit of a fight here. But I want to go ahead and give it to Gary. That was a huge play coming through from Gary because he was all by himself. There was multiple opportunity for Majesty to take him out. And that's where I say if they would have saw him sooner. So Gary was down there for a long time, setting up for the long haul, looking at the big picture game, realizing his team had control of up top. So there was only a few options for Majesty to play around the map. And this is where we're going to see double utility coming out from both of these teams. And honestly, I've seen 12 to 16 flashes along with Colin. I hope we don't see that here again today, but it would not be impossible.
It definitely wouldn't be. You know, honestly, if Elevate continues to play well, wouldn't surprise me if we get a drop shot in Bandstand or Cinema. I think that's the direction we are going if Majesty can't answer back. Gary alone can shut down that entire roster. We just seen him do it. Nero's going to be hanging out. He has been spotted, but he's going to go in anyways. He'll back up, and a little bit of bait and switch between Nero and Exclusive. Either way, Toides, though, is going to be able to get the final laugh and the final say. He will mow him down. And Elevate actually at one point was even going for the domination. And that's just them being sneaky, slipping through the cracks and playing that good objective work. But right now, there's a lot of mismatches, and Elevate is not on the good end of them.
Don't do it. That was just unfair, Gary, man. 3 kills, 1 assist, 0 deaths. He's just leaving off where he was just playing in map number 2. The aggressive player along with Krabby's. This seems to be a huge dynamic duo for the Latin American region, not just this team, as they go ahead and rotate around, making sure they get this B hill. This is where it was very big early on, distracting that home hill. And yet again, Gary's is doing it. So now there comes a choice for Majesty. Which hill do we go for? And it does look like they're going to have to backtrack towards their home hill. I don't know if anybody's going to touch it in time, but he does get the touch, and he gets the kill. That's going to be a save for Majesty.
Good job, man. Sulfus takes down Gary, but not out of hot water just yet. Now he needs to focus attention on a Nero, but the Lancer Fire takes him down. But with that kill on to Gary, it at least allowed for Majesty to come off that respawn and go in for their home hill. But one by one, they ended up falling. What just happened? Already 3 down. Toides now fighting for his life. He gets Lancered out, and the domination once again coming in. Chippy can't even get a touch, and Elevate a great recovery.
This team just is ready to play today. They want to advance. They want to get into that pro league. They're 1 step away, or I should say 3 rounds away from making that happen. And they're looking to close it out. And this weapon placement is going to be big. I want to see them either put a pistol in the inventory or a flash towards one of those sides to set up for that drop shot that we both know is going to come from Majesty.
Yeah, it has to. You know, but I mean, I got to ask you realistically, who does it even favor at that point? Even though you throw that Hail Mary, you change up the fight. I mean, I'm looking at Gary, I'm looking at Nero and Krabby's. I mean, these guys are just slaying out.
That's actually a good point. Almost that drop shot could be the final nail in the coffin of sorts if you'd go ahead and drop it down and don't win those exchanges. But here comes the mix-up and strategy from Majesty. Prior, they were going for some early hill captures. This time, they're going for that position over towards the top side of the map.
Top side is definitely getting a lot of attention. Bottom side, though, for Elevate, right? They're pushing through to go ahead and lock down Charlie. I think they were expecting maybe a little bit less attention onto that neutral, especially for player number 2 of Dragons, because he pushed up basically by himself into 3 members. Look at player 4, though, Gary, or excuse me, Krabby's. I mean, he has pushed up quite far. He's going to go ahead and back up, and the duo now is together once again as they look to lock in this home hill. They can't do it. They're pushed back just a second, but they have the opportunity to pick up a couple of big kills. Sulfus needs to get these connections, and they luckily get one. Krabby's falls. Gary now in a bad position. He will fall, and that's what we need to see from Majesty.
This is where you can't waste any time, but it looks like most of these players are on different pages. One player overextending towards the low side, 3 players plus a 4th who just spawned up, looking like they're going for this neutral. And then there goes another player. Archers are going towards the middle of the map. You need to take your numbers advantage while you can. You allowed Elevate to spawn up. So even though you're finally getting this decap on this hill, it could have been too late, especially with 2 players already going down. Elevate capitalize.
Oh, Twittis falls. That's now 3 out of the way. Sulfus and Chippy last up. And you already know Elevate, they're going to start closing that buy script in onto Charlie. If player 9 can stay up here and get that break, he cannot. I was about to say, he gets the trade, but if he would have stayed alive there, he could have been onto A, forcing Elevate to maybe allocate some resources back. But now, Elevate free range to go ahead and push forward. Chippy and Toydez get a couple of big kills. That's Gary now falling as well. So Majesty does stay alive despite the pressure from Elevate, but Nero is still pushing his chances here.
Blind fire shots always overcover, always get me. There's 2. He dodges around. He was about to get his health back as well. Nero is playing lights out right now along with the rest of Elevate. His exclusive gets another down on Toydez. That's going to capture the neutral, keep them in the lead by 30+ points. But here comes, I do believe, number 9, Sulfus, getting that decap. And this is where he needs to be careful. He cannot die in this situation. Whether you decap, whether you cap, you need to make sure you do not die, because you did a great job. You brought 2 members over to your side of the map, and this is where you keep that rotation going. Keep going. Yep. But now it does look like he's going to sneak and take the 1v1 against Nero. But the way Nero's been playing, I don't know if that's a possibility.
Dragons and exclusive now handling business. The rest of the cavalry from Elevate comes through, and that's 5 down. Majesty lose their 3rd round in a row, and Elevate leads 3-0. And now the real question of, do you place a drop shot comes into play? And more importantly, does it even help you? Gary, Nero, and Krabby's again have just been slaying out so well that, you know, we talk about objective work, and objective work is great. But I mean, if you're just winning fights left and right and you're getting 3 down, I mean, you're just walking over the map. You really don't even care at that point what's taking place. So Dragons will go ahead and place, you know, more utility. But I mean, the biggest thing is, what does Sulfus do?
I was about to say, it kind of sucks being the team Elevate right now, where you got to put that first weapon down when you kind of know that drop shot's going to make it play, because you put that flash grenade down, and then the other team has the option. Do we put it on the same side, or we put it across? Of course, most teams are going to put it across. So now that weapon that Elevate just put down is not going to come into play until later on in the round. It's still a little bit of an advantage, but not an advantage on the initial.
All right, Archer, what can you do? Get that quick pick. He's going to go for it. Flashes, though, actually don't connect, so he's able to get a free kill onto Gary. Nero, though, onto Sulfus and Chippy. Nero falls. Exclusive, though, on to Veets, and actually he will fall, and what looks so beautiful from Majesty falls apart, and Elevate wins it once again.
And they get the capture all while that fight was going on. They're going to get that free home hill, free positioning on the map. So this is going to be an uphill battle for Majesty. It's almost looking like Elevate's going to go up 4-0, but we got to play these rounds out because anything can happen. We've already seen it a few times, but 8 straight rounds coming through from Elevate so far. This is looking like a clean wipe.
It's looking like a definitive wipe. This is looking scary, you know. And this is the thing. Majesty actually connected and got a couple of big kills there. They took down Gary. They took down Nero. But then again, exclusive, right? He was able to come through and finally solidify that not only the final couple of kills, but also allow Dragons to get that drop. Krabby's now pushing up. He doesn't even care. He's going to push this 1v2. He manages to get one. The instant misses. That would have been a big instant. Sulfus would have fell. But now you're looking at Nero and Krabby's. They are gone. So Majesty, they have at least one extra person on the map. What do they do with it? Well, Gary, he goes ahead and evens it up.
Dragons do what he can. His team's winning around the map. Reinforcements come off spawn in Gary. They're going to force Archer back. He actually gets met towards the other side. He gets stuck in a triangle lock as they take him out, and Krabby's with a nice reaction shot keeps the train rolling. And that's looking like another triple cap jump. Oh my god. Oh my god, Gary. Don't. Oh my god, Gary. Forget what I was saying. This man is the man, the myth, the legend, and he's ready to take on teams like Rise, UIU, High, Pittsburgh Knights. He said it doesn't matter who you bring my way, we're going to 2-0 him.
100%, man. This is 4-0. Can we get a 10-0 in the next, or in just in the last 2 maps? Look at this. Just Gary, 1, 2, 3. Buckle my shoe. He doesn't even care, man. Can he get the 4th one? We already know how this story ends. Jay does. He gets it, man. That's just Gary is that guy, man. He's been playing so well. 4-0, and now Majesty back absolutely against the wall. Pro League spot, at least for now, at risk. Of course, they still have that loser bracket. Let's not forget that. Majesty will still be in this tournament and still an opportunity to qualify for Pro League. But when you're getting beat like this against Elevate and you're trying to be a Pro League team, chances are looking pretty rough. Gary, though, stuns. He gets to trade. Let's see if Majesty can win this initial finally.
There's a couple of trades coming out. Ooh, nice back game from Exclusive. Traded off by Veets. That's going to be a second kill of this exchange. He does have some damage on him. Gets some damage back on Krabby's. He's able to regen as well, so he does have the upper hand, and that's going to be a quick kill and the drop shot. Finally, Majesty wins this initial, down 4-0, though, as Dragons picks up another elimination on Toy Dez. They're going to have to do a lot more than just climb this mountain. They're going to have to do it 5 times in a row if they're looking to come out on top. But in this round, they're looking pretty strong. Beats with the drop shot. Everybody else has a little bit of positioning towards the middle of the map, but I'm going to be looking at Beats. I'm glad we switched on over to him because he's going to be the first guy to make the play for the squad, whether he's leading the charge or coming up the rear with that drop shot. That's going to be the playmaker.
And Sophus now will have that drop, so him and Veets will go ahead and push forward. This is going to be very telling, right? If Majesty, all the just momentum and utility in hands, can they get this break on E? Because we could very well be watching Elevate get a 3-man wipe here, but that's a good connection. Nero does fall, and we're off to the races. Majesty will go ahead and push forward and try and get some control. Sophus still go ahead and bunker up and just go ahead and grab this neutral here. Meanwhile, though, I mean, look, at Elevate's objective where player 4 already snuck over it, they're going to maintain that point lead.
You see them wrapping all the way around, but they need to be careful here. Those players, ooh, Dragons, you need to have seen that one coming. Gary's going to clean them up for you, but 2 players here would have been better than 1, but he's going to keep chasing the target. Knowing there's a Lancer on the back, he just needs to be careful. Make sure you hit your shotgun shots. Taking a ton of Lancer fire towards the backside. He's going to go ahead and fall. Exclusive is going to fall next. That's going to be a double kill coming out from Sophus. That's going to be his opportunity here to get Elevate side of the map, but he's going to go ahead and back up. I wonder, does he have another drop shot left?
I don't know if he does. I think he used both, if I'm not mistaken. Sophus might have one, but I surely, because he used one very early on. Either way, man, this is a big win. Chippy Falls can. Dragons get the second. He cannot. Sophus will clean him up. Now the question, did he have another rocket in his pocket? I sincerely don't think he does, because if he would have pushed that and maybe tried to use it for his own devices. Either way, though, Majesty, win condition in hand. They've got the objective. Elevate, though, you know, is going to fight tooth and nail until the very end. They're committing everything, and they're going to be on E once again. They're going to now transfer that win condition back into their hands. They win in just 35 seconds. Majesty back against the wall. They have lost 9 straight rounds. If they can win this round, they might be able to stop the bleeding.
And then the next round after that, you got to hit him hard. But right now, with 2-man advantage, making a 1-man advantage, the Sophus is down. They have an opportunity here late in the game to get themselves back into it. And with 2 hills, you see the win condition change, but they have to be 2 uncontested hills. Elevate has all the time in the world to go ahead and just simply break one of those 2 hills, and they're already having to defend E. You got the drop shot in the hands of one of the players. Exclusive getting a kill. Nero getting another one. Elevate looking like they're going to hold on.
I think they might be able to, unless Majesty can make something happen, but the flex comes out, 5 members drop, and 10 rounds later, it is in fact going to be Elevate finally securing a Pro League spot. A lot of people had their doubts. They said, you know what, Elevate's not going to be able to make this happen, and you know what? I even doubted them at one point, but they finally silenced the doubters, and they say they are the best team in the world, or at least one of the best teams in the world, to join alongside the rest of the teams in Pro League. I got to say, it's a beautiful thing because we know how much